Yep, we are officially about to shake things up a bit. It's gotten severe. It's gotten really out of control here. Now, before I get to the topic at hand, let's also go over some things that actually happened over the course of a few weeks ago. There was the MDA situation, which was regarding about the sexual contact that he had with these other people of the ages of 15, 16, back again with 15 and all. He was supposed to be classified as an ephebophile, but in this case, we're moving past this because some of that with state law, that's actually going to be playing a role with this, by the way, with state law too. We're not focusing on the MDA situation. We're actually going to be focusing on something a lot more worse, and you're going to be seeing a whole lot of anger come out of me. So what am I going to be referring to when I talk about this? The situation of what I'm referring to is also regarding someone by the name of Charles Doherty. Now this person, Charles Doherty, that's the real name by the way, is supposed to be an activist for the LGBT community. I'll explain the rest here, but let me just put this in perspective. This is not about the LGBT community. Not at all. So what I wanted to at least read you off with, at least, is just to give you the general sense of what's going to be going on here. And so the disturbing part about what this person is saying is that he's an activist for the LGBT community, but he's an activist for pedosexuals. Bear that in mind. Let me just read it off here, and I will actually show you some screenshots of what is going on here. I'm going to show you exactly what I find wrong with the situation. So let's go into here and actually go right now. So basically, I'm going to pull this up. So basically, Charles Doherty, who goes by this, he says, "What we at Heart Progress are trying to do is teach children about pedosexuality, how to consent, and how to not be abused. Hashtag stop slandering." This was provided to me by a bunch of anonymous sources that actually spoke to me about this situation, about what was going on here. Well, let's also read off a description, and I will show this right after I start reading this. So, Charles Doherty, a former university teacher teaching millennials about LGBT, not that I have a problem with that, but the problem I have is where he says, "and pedosexuality, member of Heart Progress, hashtag I'm with her," okay. Well, joined December 2016, born April 1st, 1953. You're going to be reading some things that I'm going to be sharing with you that are going to disturb the motherfucking shit out of you and what pisses me off about this. So we're going to get deeper into this. So let's provide what I'm going to be providing with you with the screenshots as well. Let's get right into it. So what you're seeing right now is a tweet from this person, from Charles Doherty himself. Let me just read it off again so that way you guys get the gist of it saying, "What we are at Heart Progress are trying to do is teach children about pedosexuality and how to consent and not be abused." You're seeing that for yourself as the image is provided to you, and you're also seeing the image that's also provided with the information of what I just said about. The hashtag I'm with her, I don't know what the hell's that supposed to stand for, but you're kind of seeing where this is starting to lead up. And this is not even close to how fucked up that this entire thing is. So I'm going to show you some of the screenshots from what he's making a statement about. And this is the part where it's going to build up and get worse because we are not even anywhere close to the fucked up part about it. So why don't we move on to the next one, shall we? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, why don't we move on to the core part of this. This is what I really wanted to get to you with this. What you're looking at here is now the additional things that I did find out for this Charles Doherty, by the way, which when you read from the Twitter post that I just showed, well, we're going to show this here. And yes, I did kind of make a weird transition where it's now night to day, so talk about continuity here. But let's actually get into the stuff that has been disturbing me more than ever, but besides the Twitter posts. So we're going to read it word for word here. From Charles Doherty. "Please, before you come bash me or my coworkers, you need to understand our great cause. Every year, nearly 5,000 underage children are involved in sexual intercourse without consenting. This is horrible and true. We at Heart and Progress are not only trying to stop this from happening, but we are trying to help pedosexuals. Keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. We are trying to help pedosexuals worldwide." And this is the part, we're not even close to the fucked up part here yet. Here we go. "I've taught kids in universities and secondary schools throughout the United Kingdom for over 25 years. Geez, I'm just wanting to know how long ago was this entire shit going to just push through. And I'm trying to use my teaching skills to teach them how to properly consent without getting abused. So, how old are we talking, by the way, here, Mr. Charles Doherty? Because between that of consenting and all that other stuff, there's two big problems with this entire thing when you're trying to do something here. And we'll get into that here in just a moment. So put that in your thought process for a moment because that's going to be very, very, very important. So let's do this. So let's go back to where we were. So 25 years, and I'm trying to use my teaching skills on how to properly consent without getting abused. We were right there. I deeply support the LGBT community. I don't have any problem with the LGBT community. That's not really what I have a problem with. But anyway, let's move on. And I have participated in a few of their events too. A man can love another man. Okay, fine. What difference? Actually, no. I'm sorry. If it's a man loving a child, what difference does it make? A child, an adult. Pedosexuality, being a pedophile, that's bad. That's severely bad. Why the fuck are you trying to advocate pedophilia in not just many countries, but even to other people watching this? You are advocating pedophilia. I'm surprised I am not screaming my fucking guts out right now. This is despicable. Sick. Just I can't fathom the right words for this because we're not even in the fucked up part about this yet. You're gonna be seeing where it's gonna correlate, it's gonna stem, and it's gonna show exactly where the fucked up part is. By the way, but the difference between that is it's wrong on many fucking levels, past its own crossing line. It's fucked up beyond belief. That is the difference between a man loving a man and a man loving a kid. In my opinion, there's nothing wrong in my personal view of a man loving a man or a woman loving a woman. But when it comes to a man, like a full grown man, and a child, you will see a pretty big, giant, significant fucking difference of why it does matter. So, to rebuke that, it does fucking matter because, for one, it's wrong immorally, and two, that's a lot of laws and violations that you are crossing the line with, buddy. Let's continue. As long as the child is educated on consenting and the outcome of sexual intercourse, then that is what we want. Again, you're still pushing this on like you're pushing the moral level and you're pushing a law level here. So basically, you are breaking both moral codes and you are also breaking laws. Not good on your case. Our cause's main goal is to help a lot of men and children fill the empty gap of pedosexuality. No, you don't need to fucking do that. What you need to teach people to do is not bridge this fucking gap, but unfortunately, you're advocating this sort of fucking thing, so this is not helping you at all. And looking at this, even people commenting about this, there's even more about this. Yes, as long as the child is educated on pedosexuality, yeah, you are just straight up fucked up in the head. Oh, and we're not even there yet. Here's the part where it really gets disturbing. When I asked my wife to date me, I was in my 20s. How far in your 20s were you, by the way, if I may ask? And she was 15. 15 years old. Here's the part right here. We've tried a lot of times to do sexual intercourses. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. The guy's in his 20s and he's banging a fucking 15-year-old. You are just fucked up in the head. Congratulations to you because you also advocate for pedophilia. You're just as bad as the fucking pedophiles that are out in the fucking world. Congratulations. So, now we have two beautiful children, a boy and a girl. My son, Jeremy, who was about to have a baby with his wife, while my daughter broke up with her boyfriend for being a racist who hated Muslims. I don't know the fucking story behind that. He served in the army and was probably a baby killer. Again, don't know the story about that. That's the part I don't give a shit about. Hopefully, my little girl will marry and create a family with my neighbor's son, Deshaun, who is a fine young man who goes to church and supports his family financially. Other than this, I just wanted to say that our cause isn't immoral. Yes, it is, you fucking creep. It's fucking immoral. You're bridging the gap between little kids and men as long as they're educated on pedosexuality, as long as they are consenting to it, and we're gonna get to that part here. We're gonna tell you what's wrong with this part because it's the same thing with the whole NBA situation, but it gets a lot farther than this. Let me finish this off. Please be respectful and understand what we are fighting for. We are fighting for the children because they are our future. You don't have any business to be near children. Now, let's go right back up to the part where you were talking about, let's see, United Kingdom for over 25 years. So that's kind of disturbing to know. Like, I'm theorizing in my head how long ago you've been trying to do this. Yeah, 25 years. Not helping your case, buddy. Okay, so, and now here's the other problem right here. Let me load this back up because it's just being completely stupid with me for some reason. So, and I'm trying to use my teaching skills to teach them how to properly consent without getting abused. Keywords in this one too is also as long as the child, sorry, this thing is being gay again. So as long as the child is educated on consenting and the outcome of sexual intercourse, then that is what we want. That is what we want. Our main goal is to help a lot of men and children fill the empty gap of pedosexuality. Here's the part where you completely fucked up on many different fucking edges. 3 things, by the way, actually, to be precise. Or actually, let's put it as 4 things. Let's go with the obvious fact that it's immoral and wrong and pretty much downgraded beyond every society that is possibly imaginable, that it's looked down upon, and rightfully so. But here's the 3 things. There's international law, there is federal law, and there is state law. You basically have fucked over a lot of these. Now, I know in some countries the age of consent can be very different, but let's also focus on the main thing of the matter because this isn't just about the United Kingdom that you were saying about. Let's go right back again. Let's load it. Secondary schools throughout the United Kingdom. Now, it may be the United Kingdom, but let's also remember this. This is a viral fucking thing, which means that there's other people out in the world doing this. So you're advocating for pedophilia everywhere. So that means you're telling the adults and the males that it's okay as long as they're educated about it. Do you know something about federal law and the thing about state law is that, yeah, well, in state law, in certain ages, you have to be like 17, 16, or 15, depending on the ages. But in the case of that, being that if the man was 30 years old or 40 years old, that's going to look pretty fucked up on that end. But let's also get into the main part of this is federal law, which means you have to be 18 years or older. That applies to anything from sending photos, masturbation, or actual sexual intercourse with each other. Where you're actually physically doing something, you have to be 18 years or older. So you're telling me that it's okay to support something like this and to advocate pedosexuality, and yet you come out with this story when you were in your 20s and you were banging a 15-year-old. Yeah, that's not painting yourself in a very good picture at all, buddy. You are just as bad as an advocate, and I can't believe I'm going to have to use the words from someone who I actually don't like, but you know what? He is right about something. In comparison from like the whole MDA thing, you are in fact a fucking pedophile and a pedophile activist, and you're going to wear that fucking name, especially coming from me, man. It perfectly fits you. I can't believe I actually had to quote someone that I actually do not like, but it makes the picture completely clear that that's the sort of name you're going to be wearing that for almost the rest of your fucking life, buddy. We're not even done yet. Let's see. I mean, look at this. Because the guy wasn't even specific on the person's age or the child's age. And here's the part where it even gets more fucked up. So if I scroll down, look what this says right here. Oh my goodness, this beautiful young woman is making me feel strange. Yes, I don't want to effing know what that it truly means, but I can give you a very, very grim theoretical thing about what that person is feeling. And right here, from other people. Props to you for saying that, but like, please spread awareness about this because this is not something that you want your child to go through. And even more fucked up is the people that are sharing this. People like Graham Strasberg. #children, #love. Yeah, see. Oh my gosh. This is just. Oh, just. I don't want to yell. Because I'm trying to do my best. But this is fucking despicable, sick, asinine. This is beyond the levels of fucked up. So for you, Charles Doherty, you are going to be wearing that fucking label on you. I'm sorry, but You basically threw yourself out there, and guess what? You've got to live with that for the rest of your fucking life now. And there's people aware about what you're fucking doing. That shit ain't allowed. And it's shit like that I'm afraid to be a fucking parent. Not that that matters. But you know what? It's actually shit like that are a lot of people that are afraid to be a parent because of shit like this. If I ever had kids, I don't ever want to have my kids go anywhere near you or the pedophiles that fucking support you. Because you're sick. You're demented. And this is just outright atrocious. Just no words can fathom it. I can't even go to the ends to say exactly what I want to feel because I just feel like I'm just going to lose my end when it comes to this. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end off with this and just saying, if you see people like this, don't be afraid to report them, spread awareness and all that, because this is not the sort of shit that we need on our web. And as a matter of fact, before I end this off, I'm going to actually show you something. If you guys heard of Thorn, by the way, this is actually a dedication or a, what's the word I'm looking for? It is a company, or I guess what you could say in the sense of a cause that was created by a fellow actor by the name of Ashton Kutcher. I'm actually going to show a part of that clip and what he stands for, and you can kind of see where this is kind of going between that. So before I end this off, let me just show you that clip right there.
This is about the time when I start talking about politics that the internet trolls tell me to stick to my day job. So I'd like to talk about my day job. My day job is as the chairman and the co-founder of Thorn. We build software to fight human trafficking and the sexual exploitation of children. And that's our core mission. My other day job is that of the father of two, a 2-month-old and a 2-year-old. And as part of that job that I take very seriously, I believe that it is my effort to defend their right to pursue happiness and to ensure a society and government that defends it as well. As part of my anti-trafficking work, I've met victims in Russia. I've met victims in India. I've met victims that have been trafficked from Mexico, victims in New York and New Jersey and all across our country. I've been on FBI raids where I've seen things that no person should ever see. I've seen video content of a child that's the same age as mine being raped by an American man that was a sex tourist in Cambodia. And this child was so conditioned by her environment that she thought she was engaging in play. I've been on the other end of a phone call from my team asking for my help because we had received a call from the Department of Homeland Security telling us that a 7-year-old girl was being sexually abused and that content was being spread around the dark web. And she had been being abused and they'd watched her for 3 years and they could not find the perpetrator. Asking us for help. We were the last line of defense. An actor and his foundation were the potential last line of defense. That's my day job. And I'm sticking to it.